Hi everybody, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so it's time for Stamping with Denise. Welcome. I'm so glad you could join me. I want to pull this up and share it. See if I can, there we go. Let me see if I can share. Whoops, there we go. Now I've got the right view that I wanted. Okay. Now we're ready. Welcome. Okay. Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, time for Stamping with Denise. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you all had a great weekend. If you celebrated Easter, I hope you had a great Easter. I have a lot of fun stuff. It's a great time in Stampin' Up! World because the demonstrators got to put in their orders for some new product from the catalog, and my box actually came this afternoon. I've opened it up and pulled a few things out. If you're just joining me, so I thought I'd share the new in colors with you when I change views down to my hands, okay? If you're just, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to reach across you. If you're just joining me, welcome. Don't forget to like my video. If you like it enough, share it, and comment shared down below in the comments, and you might win the card that I'm working on tonight. I think you kind of got a sneak peek of it already. But last week, remember, I made this really pretty card using the scraps from Designer Series paper. And the winner for last week's card is Val Thompson. So Val, I'll have to get your email or your snail mail address so I can send this card out to you. Okay? Thank you so much to everybody who watches and shares. I do appreciate it. Let me set this over here. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can see my comments. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. I think it depends on what view I'm in. Let me try this here. Let me try this. Nope, that's not doing it. I don't know why I'm not seeing comments. Let me try a different way here to go. Just one more minute and then we will get going. There we go. Okay, I see Sylvia and I see Paula. Welcome everybody. So glad you're here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the view on the camera, and I thought I'd show you the new in colors. So I hope that is okay with you. I'm not going to show you too much because you can't really order it, but people are always interested to see the in colors. So I thought I would start with that. So, okay. Look at that bright pink. I know I haven't taken it out of the package, but I don't have any place to put it yet. That's one reason. But this is one of the first in colors, or this is the first one I'm going to show you here. This one's called Polished Pink. It's bright. Let me show you. Let me see if I can compare it. Let me get my sample swatches here. Let me see. This one here, this is Magenta Madness. So it's a little, I don't know that that's going to make any difference whatsoever. There we go. Maybe I'll hold it like that. That's with Magenta Madness. And let me see if I can find, that's Melon Mambo to compare it to there. So, and let me see, is this one, that's Rococo Rose. Where's Flirty Flamingo? It's darker than Flirty Flamingo for sure. But that kind of helps you give an idea. It's a bright, bright pink. Okay, the next color, I don't think we have anything like it. We used to, but this is called Pale Papaya. I think that's really kind of a peachy color. I just don't know that we have anything like it in our current set of colors. I mean, that's Mango Melody. Let's see what Daffodil Delight looks like next to it. It's too yellow. Let's look at So Saffron. There we go. So that kind of gives you an idea on that Pale Papaya. Evening Evergreen is a new one. I don't know. I really didn't think we needed any more greens, but maybe we do. Maybe there's something I don't know. Okay. This is kind of dark, so let me show you. This is it against Mossy Meadow. Let me look here. Garden Green. Just kind of comparing it for you. So that tells you it's kind of an evergreen green. I bet there's a lot in the that'll be in our Christmas stuff that will be that color. This one's Soft Succulent, and first I thought it looked a little bit like jade, but no, I think it's not quite as, I don't know if blue's the right color I'm looking for or not. There's Bermuda Bay. So anyway, it gives you an idea on that. And there's one more color, and I like this color. I'm glad we have a lighter purple here. This is Fresh Freesia, and let me show you what it looks like next to Purple Posy. It's darker than Purple Posy, but it's lighter than Highland Heather. So there you go. Okay, so I'm excited to be able to start using those here in another month or so when everybody has access to them. Okay, so tonight I have a really fun card to show you. And I keep forgetting the name. It's called a Slide and Lock card. Because see, it looks like a gatefold card, but it doesn't really open, and that's because you have to slide this off to be able to open it up. And you can put it right back on. It's not that hard, but to put on. I just make it look that way. And it just slides right down here. There you go. So I thought I'd show you how to do it. It's really simple. Really simple. So, well, let me put that right there. Let me get my trimmer. Gotta get my notes here so I can see what I've got. I started out with a base that's 8.5 by 5.5, and I started with Terracotta Tile, which is one of our retiring colors, of course. And I'm going to score that at 2 1/8 on both sides, okay? 2 1/8. I really like this card. I might end up doing some Christmas cards like this. I think they'd be cool. So remember, when you score, you want to fold toward the mountain, because you know where the little so that side's a valley. That's where the score went, and this was the hill. That's the way I remember it. Where is my bone folder? Here it is. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. It was very nice here. Today it was cooler and rainier. Whoops. Okay, I already know I'm going to have to trim a little bit of this off, but that's okay. You can see I had to trim it a little bit right there. But we will do that in just a minute. So that's our card base. Then what we need to do to make the locking mechanism, you use you have four pieces of cardstock that are the same size, okay? These are 3 by 2.5. And 2 of these you're going to score right down the middle. So let me see. So 2.5 is 1 1/4. I'm always afraid when I'm going to use the cutting blade. Have you ever done that? I have. I cut something I meant to score and then I had to start over. So these pieces can be about any size you want to make them. What you have to keep in mind is what you're going to put on top of it. Initially, I had made mine 3 by 3, and they were just, it was too big for this to go on. See, here it was when it was 3 by 3, and it was too wide for that. So that's why I went with 2.5 by 3. And I'm using the heavy white cardstock because it holds it a little bit better. So we have 2 of these folded. Now I'm going to glue them onto one of these pieces here, one of these other squares, and it'll make perfect sense here. You want something here that holds really well, whether that be tear and tape or the mono adhesive. And you're going to glue it on there with the fold to the center, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and just put this here. It's easier. Put that right up against that. There we go. So see, right now I have that. So the last piece, the last part is to glue that onto there. So sometimes the liquid glue is a better option because it gives you a second to move things around if you need to. I know that mine's not exactly straight, but I mean, really, it's not going to be seen, but if it bothers you, you could take your snips and trim it up. And there we go. See, that's essentially what your locking mechanism looks like, is like that. Okay. So now we need, and I know that this is too small because it's not going to fit, but you have to make sure you have enough room between your 2 panels for this to slide down. And you can see, you know, I don't. It had to bow a little bit. So I'm going to take just a little bit off of either side, but I wait to do that till I get the locking mechanism completed so that I'm sure. And I'm just going to because I'm taking a little off on both sides because I don't want it lopsided. I can always come back and cut some more off, but I can't put it back on. Was it measure twice, cut once? So, whoops. There we go. Let me see here. There we go. And you saw I just took a sliver off. I didn't take very much off, but it was just enough, okay? And while we're at that, I think I'll go ahead and glue the inside piece on. The inside panel, since it's a, I mean, one could probably write on that, but that's okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we want to do the paper for the panels. Cut the designer series paper. Hi, Wendy. Thank you for joining and thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So, on my card, I ran my designer series paper all the way to the end. You know, I didn't leave a gap on the top and the bottom, but this time I think I'm going to. That I had intended to, it was just an oversight. So I know that this is 5.5, so I'm going to cut this at 5 and probably 5 3/8, I think, long. See, I haven't even cut this piece of paper yet. 5 3/8. 5. 1, 2, 3. Just make sure if you've got a direction on your paper that you have it going the right way. So let's see. Whoops. Always like to make sure. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And so then each of this piece is 2 1/8, so I'm going to make that 2 inches. Yep, 2 inches for each of those will be perfect. And like I said, the whole reason I didn't cut it first is I just was not sure how much I might end up trimming off of that to make that, of the card base to make the mechanism fit. So there we go. Now I think I'm done with that. Okay. Bring that in, we will adhere these. So I don't know, Wendy, if you saw, I showed the new in colors in the beginning. I know there were a few people that were here when I was showing them. I'm curious what everybody's favorite new in color is. I don't know, I think I'm liking that fresh freesia. So I'd love to know what your favorite one is. So yeah, I ordered the paper, I ordered my stamp pads, my ink refills. I always, when I order a new color ink, I always order the ink refill at the same time. Because inevitably then I'll forget to order it, and then I'll need it and I'll be stuck and won't have it. I ordered the ribbon, I ordered the in color gems. Most of what I ordered was in color, and I have a couple of stamp sets that I purchased. Or bundles, so. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put the mechanism on here, just like that. I just love this card. I just think that's so cool. So, I already cut out the part I'm going to stamp, or you know, that's going to be my piece here. Actually, these are going to go here. I better stamp first though. The colors I'm using for my flowers are the Retiring Terracotta Tile, the Old Olive, and the Early Espresso. And I get asked, how do you know what colors to use? How do you make a decision? You know what I do? I look at the back of the designer series paper at the colors that are in there, and I pick off of that is what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Celebrating Your Day, and the stamp set that I'm using today is Gorgeous Posies. This is a stamp set, you may have missed it in the catalog, but it's actually goes with one of the kits. And a lot of times the stamp sets that go with those kits, people overlook them, but they're great standalone products. So I really like, because I like the way this flower ends up looking. Whoops, I just put my finger in that. So I'm going to start out with putting the sentiment on here. I have, let me make sure I've got a good stamp on that. Yep, that looks good. Let me get that inked up. Okay, put that on here first, because I really try to stamp before I adhere anything, because you can always get, you know, re-stamp on a new piece of paper. So I'm gonna put this right on here. I'm kind of sad that some of our basic dies are retiring, like the, what are they, the stitched shapes as well, and then the layering ovals, and I think it's the squares that are retiring. Kind of sad, but that's okay, there'll be new stuff. And this is going to go on there. I might as well adhere that while I'm there too. And like I said, had this piece been 3x3, it was too wide for to adhere this on, so that's why I went with the piece of 2.5. You really can go with any size you want, whatever works for you. I did find though that the thick whisper white was better, because it helped the card stay closed. When I used just the regular whisper white, it didn't stay closed so well. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp the flower. Again, this is in terracotta tile. There we go. Let me pull this out of the way here. Close that up. Then for the center of my flower, that's going to be an early espresso. Perfect. And I just, and these flowers, or the designs on the stamp set, are easy enough that you can fussy cut them. So they're not hard at all to cut. And sometimes I like to fussy cut, sometimes I don't. It just really depends. Oops. And there you go. There's that. But I know better than to make you sit here and watch me fussy cut those out. So I already have the pieces there. So what I did was I went ahead and adhered the leaves to the back of my flower. Go put one right here. And I'll put one like right there, I think will be good. Then once this dries, whoops, I can put dimensionals on and put it on my card in one piece. Let that dry there. Okay, so then I can put it on just like that with the dimensionals. Okay, I have a bunch of half dimensionals which will work just fine for this. I use it, you know, you never waste anything. Most crafters use it down to till it's all gone, right? I like to make sure that these pieces like this are well supported, especially if it's going in the mail, because you know how that we all know how the mail gets beat up. It's smashed, and although I do have to admit I was impressed. I love being a stamp demonstrator because I get to meet people from all over the world, and I have a demonstrator from Australia who I'd made friends with, and back in the fall there was a discussion on my business page about candy corn. Do you like it or not like it? And she said, you know, they don't have candy corn in Australia. She's never had it. She couldn't tell, you know, didn't have an opinion. So you know what, I sent her a bag of candy corn, and she said in her family it was kind of a mixed you know, reviews, but that's okay. Yeah, candy corn's kind of polarizing. Well, she was going to send me one of their treats from Australia, and she did. It came late last week with this really beautiful card. Isn't that pretty? She's used the blending brushes on there and colored the that little piece of designer series paper and put some of the matte black dots on there, and I think it's just wonderful. But she sent these cookies. Where I was going with this story was she sent me these cookies called Tim Tams. Oh my gosh, they're really good. They're a chocolate cookie with a chocolate filling, and they're covered with chocolate. So they were really good, and they arrived in one piece. They were not broken or anything. I was just amazed that coming that far and that they were in such good shape. So anyway, I'm done. Completed this card. And again, I think it is such a cool card. It could be done for any kind of a event, any occasion. It just depends how you decide to dress it up. So I think that's all I have for right now. I will see you all next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Stamping with Denise. You guys take care. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.